All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's quick learning burst teaching kitchen. Today, we are going to be learning how to make a fruit salsa using my favorite fruit, blueberries. So we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of blueberries, and I'll show you how quick and easy it is to make a fruit salsa at home. So let's get started. So first things first, let's prep our blueberries. So I've got fresh washed blueberries right here. Super simple. All I'm going to be doing is just cutting them down the center. So nothing fancy, but understandably a little bit tedious. Um, I like to just cut them versus do something like a food processor, which is perfectly fine. You can do that at home. But I actually like to cut them because it helps keep their structure a little bit better in the salsa. And I think it makes it taste a little bit better. But if you're on a time crunch at home, of course, feel free to put them in a food processor. Now, one of the benefits of doing something like a blueberry salsa is you get to use a different type of fruit. I know at my house, we're constantly making salsa, especially in the summertime, but we're always using tomatoes. When you do something like a fruit salsa, it actually gives you a nice opportunity to try to add a little bit of variety to your diet, especially like adding something like a blueberry, which is super high in fiber and super high in antioxidants, which are actually particularly beneficial for heart health. Now, the next thing I'm going to prep is actually our red pepper. So first, I'm just going to cut off the top here. I'm even going to cut off the bottom, and then I'm going to cut it right down the center. I don't need a whole lot of the pepper. I'm only going to use about half of it for this recipe. I'm just making a small one. So I'm going to cut out the innards. And what I like to do for a quick salsa recipe is I like to make the ingredients really small. And so what that helps do is it helps the flavors meld a little bit better, which is really nice. I think it makes it a little bit easier to eat right away versus, having to let it sit in the fridge for a little bit longer if the ingredients are a little bit larger. So here I'm just making some strips. Now, you can use a different type of pepper, like let's say you're growing something in your garden this summer and you just want to take from there. That's perfectly fine. I would recommend doing something like a red or an orange or a yellow pepper just because they actually are a little bit sweeter. Whereas something like a green pepper might be a little bit more bitter, so it might not give that same flavor. And the berries themselves are already a little bit less sweet. Berries in general just don't have quite as much sweetness. So you want to make sure you're picking a pepper that's going to have sweetness. So either red, yellow, or orange would be my best bet for that best flavor. So I'm just adding everything into my little mixing bowl right here. Super simple. And these red peppers are actually going to have tons of antioxidants too, especially that anthocyanin. Again, amazing for heart health and vitamin C too. So again, it speaks to the benefit of having a variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet. Now, the next one we're doing is a little bit of heat. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about the heat in anything I eat. So I'm doing a jalapeno. Now, you can scrape the insides of your jalapeno to get rid of those seeds. That's going to help reduce the heat, but I will say if you're looking for maybe, significantly less heat, you have a few different options. You can, one, obviously take out the seeds. Two, you can just add a little bit less of the jalapeno, still do it just a little bit less. And then the other option you have is to do a different type of pepper. So you could do something like a poblano pepper, which is going to be just a little bit lower in the heat level. Now, if you're like me, I love to add the seeds, and I absolutely love to add extra jalapeno. All right. So now that we're done chopping that, oops, I got a little bit more. Now, you can also, if you're looking for more heat, again, you could do something like a serrano pepper as well. So that's going to be a little bit more, but still same flavor, same texture. So that's perfectly fine option too. Like I said, especially if it's something you're growing in your garden already. Now, another thing we're putting in there is a little bit of red onion. So if you want, you can also do any onion you have at home. You know, we're all about stop food waste over here in anything we do. So if you've got a white onion, I know I always end up with half of an onion at my house. I don't know why, but I have like 5 different half onions. So if you've got one at home already, use that. It's the best way to do it. But I really love the red onion. It's got a stronger flavor, which I think goes actually really well with the blueberries and the red pepper. So one way that I cut an onion, again, to get that smaller feel, is I make slits in it like this. You'll see I'm making them kind of close together, and I'm cutting all the way through to the bottom. Now, like I said, this is going to help with the juices of like the blueberries and the juices of the lime that we're going to use later. It's going to help it meld a little bit better. And I will say that it almost like the juices and the sugar and the salt that we're gonna put in, it almost like pickles the onion, which ends up having a super great taste, especially if you leave it in the fridge overnight, which is that's especially what I do. All right. And then one of our final ingredients here, but one of the most important, cilantro. So again, another easy one to grow in your garden. I love using cilantro just because it's another ingredient that is chock full of antioxidants, especially herbs themselves. They can be particularly full of phytochemicals and all the good stuff that we're looking for. Now, one thing I notice a lot with people is when they're cooking in the kitchen, they like to get rid of these stems. They think, oh, we can't use those, they're not good for anything. But actually what I do is I bunch up my cilantro and I just cut everything all together. So I'll cut it with the stem and the leaves, and then I end up getting, more out of a bunch of cilantro, because you pay for it, you have it, and you want to use it, right? So that's what I do. And then it also helps reduce waste. And don't worry, because you actually still get the same flavor from that stem. And sometimes it can give you almost a little bit of a different texture, which I'm all about. All right, so going on to the next. So how are we going to get a little bit of lime in here? Well, we're going to be doing a little bit of lime. You can also be doing a little bit of zest with it as well. If you have a grater, you can zest it. But I just have a juicer here, so that is what we're going to use. Now, I love extra lime, so I'll probably put in double the amount. That's all you want to do. You want to squeeze it out. Now, like I said, the lime juice and the sugar and the salt we're going to put in, it helps really pickle the salsa. So, and it does that especially if you leave it overnight. That is my biggest recommendation. But if you don't have that time, I would leave it at least half an hour in your refrigerator. All right, now I'm just going to mix it up. So like I said, I love doing something like a fruit salsa versus doing just your typical tomatoes, because I know for our family, we're constantly making a salsa. So if you are using the same ingredients, that's fine. If that's what you have at home, that's okay. But if you have the opportunity to use something like a mango or even a strawberry, if you've ever seen a strawberry salsa, those are one of my favorites too. Blueberries, it helps give a little bit more variety. A lot of us are just not getting the variety we're supposed to from fruits and vegetables in our diet. And so this is just another way to kind of take an opportunity to get a different variety in your diet. And I have to say, not only is this beautiful, I'm mixing it right here and I'm going to show you. Not only is it absolutely gorgeous, but it also tastes amazing. So all you can use, I have like a lime chip, and you can use that. Mm, so good. I never thought I'd love blueberry salsa, but I'm telling you, it's amazing. So you can try it at home. And you can also do something like putting it on top of grilled chicken if you're grilling chicken at home, even like a salmon. tons of different ways to use it. So if you're looking for more tips like this and you want to get more of the Teaching Kitchen experience, make sure you check out letsmovebyuhc.com and you can get more content there. Thanks for joining, guys.